What's going on, y'all? This is the Face Mask Podcast, and today I wanted to talk about the Seattle Seahawks running backs, and specifically Chris Carson, because he's really the only guy of any significance in this backfield once you really get down to the numbers and what's happened over the past 2 seasons. Now, the Seahawks drafted him in the 7th round of the 2017 draft, and since then, he's done nothing but perform since being drafted there. He's never played 16 games. He's played in 45 of a potential 64 games since entering the NFL, but he finished as the overall RB12 in PPR points in 2020 after finishing as a borderline RB1 in 2019, the RB12, and 2018, where he finished as the RB16. Now, this past offseason, he signed a 2-year, $10.4 million contract, and he finds himself near the top of the leaderboard in pretty much every metric among the top 115 running backs with at least 100 carries since 2017. Now, in that data set, he's tied for number 25th in yards per carry since 2017 with 4.6. In terms of yards after contact per rush, he comes in at number 5 with 3.4 yards after contact per rush. And in terms of first down or TD percentage, he's actually number 9. He comes in at 26.4% first down rate or TD percentage. Now, we've also seen Carson grade out favorably as a receiver, even though it's not something he's usually thought of. You don't think of Chris Carson as somebody who catches a ton of passes. Granted, he's no Alvin Kamara, but I do think it's an underrated part of his game for sure. Last year especially, as he saw a ton of red zone receiving work early in the season, particularly in 2 of his first 5 games. We saw him getting more than 6 targets. That's the kind of usage you want from a running back 1. But we got to hit the brakes on that a little bit because, and you know how I am with coach speak, I don't really go all in on believing it, but the Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll came out and said, and I quote, "We have to run the ball better, not even better, we have to run it more. We have to dictate what's going on with the people that we're playing, and that's one of the ways to do that." In another quote, he says, "Remember, I don't mind winning 20-9. I don't mind winning 17-14. I want to win controlling the game, and that means we don't give them the football." The implication therein being they like to run the ball. Another quote, "It's a football thing. It's a scheme thing. I want to see if we can run the ball more effectively to focus on the play of the opponents and see if we can force them to do the things that we like them to do." Now, we know Pete Carroll's on the older side of things, and he hasn't come around to the new trends in the NFL, which is largely passing. I mean, all of last season we heard let Russ cook, and halfway through the season they decided to not let Russ cook, and we saw how that ended. Their season 100% fizzled out towards the end there. They do have a new OC in Shane Waldron, but it's tough to see this offense becoming too pass happy in the immediate future, especially with the comments that the coaching staff has made over the course of really the past 3-4 seasons. Now, Chris Carson is presently at an ADP of 19 over at Underdog Fantasy, and Chris Carson certainly seems to be priced closer to his floor than his ceiling at the moment. I mean, RB19 for a guy who's never finished below that on a points per game basis. He's the clear primary back in a perennially top 10 scoring offense. Say what you will about how they choose to run it, they are what they are. Are the injury concerns real for Chris Carson? Absolutely. But this is true for pretty much any high usage running back. Chris Carson is fully expected to be the clear-cut touch leader, and accordingly deserves to be ranked as a mid-tier fantasy RB2 at worst. Now, what do you make of the rest of this backfield? Penny was a guy that was hyped through the offseason, but a report just came out that Rashaad Penny underwent minor knee surgery this offseason, and that's not really a good look for somebody who was looking to come into the season and really the offseason 100% healthy. He played in 3 games this past season and averaged a career low 3.1 yards per carry on his 11 carries after missing damn near 2 years of football. And then he needed to get more work this offseason. This is starting to feel kind of like Jerick McKinnon. I'm getting Jerick McKinnon vibes. I kind of feel like he's never going to be healthy enough to put it together. I mean, does anybody remember Marcus Lattimore from San Francisco? He was a back who was drafted and literally never saw the field after back-to-back years of knee injuries in college. And you gotta question whether or not this is the same type of thing that Rashaad Penny is going through right now. Now, with that in mind, DJ Dallas is a late-round dart throw in pretty much every format because I think he has a real shot at being the RB2 in this offense because Rashaad Penny just can't get right with his health. Now, if you're in Dynasty and you're in win now mode, Chris Carson is a buy because I think you can get him at a discount when you factor in his age and his injury history. And frankly, tell the person that you're trading from all the quotes that I just spit out at you. Because while they say they want to commit to the run game, the thought process of most fantasy owners is that is a detriment to the whole offense, which it is, but not specifically to Carson. You can flip the narrative on it try to get Carson away from a less smart owner, because it is a 26-year-old back and he's on a 2-year deal, but most of that money is guaranteed, so he could technically be gone as soon as next season if the Seahawks saw fit to move on, seeing as they seemed fit to move on this past offseason until Carson saw his market was pretty minimal elsewhere and opted to stick around for a few more seasons. Now in redraft, best ball, I'm definitely taking him at his RB19 ADP, but I'm not touching Penny with his injury history, and I'd consider Dallas in the last round of any draft in any format as a do-it-all fill-in for when Carson inevitably does get injured. Now, what do you guys think? Do you guys think I'm too high on Carson? Do you guys think I'm too low on Rashaad Penny and should give the guy a break? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. My name is John Alsace. This is the Face Mask Podcast. Thank you for listening.